Hello and welcome to another edition of Ask the Attorney Anything. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I have been recognized as one of the top 1% of attorneys in the country, and I help people negotiate with high conflict and toxic personalities. That's what I do. I've been doing it for over 20 years, and I've written a couple of books, and I'm so excited to be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays with you at noon Pacific to answer your questions live. So I see that I already have some people who have been tuning in and getting their questions ready for me. I would love to know where you're tuning in from. And I would love to get your questions. So hello from Texas, Andene, I hope I'm saying that right, in Texas. Rochelle from India, hello. Hello, Jay from Las Vegas. And I've got some really great questions. I've got Sven from Belgium. Awesome. So, hi, everybody. Love seeing you here. Love answering your questions. And so what I'm going to do now is just go back to some of the questions that I had gotten right from the beginning. Somebody was asking me, and it's like scrolling down now, so I can't see, but there was somebody who was asking a question about visitation at Christmas. There's no court order in place. You're in Germany, and you want to know about what to do as far as visitation, considering all of the travel restrictions. So the key thing that you said to me is that there was no court order in place. And the reason why that's the key thing is because when a court looks to see if you did something wrong or didn't do something wrong, the first thing they're going to do is say, was there a court order in place? And what did it say? So did you do what you said you were going to do, what you're supposed to do, what the court ordered you to do, or not? A court order can be in a form of a final judgment, or it can be in a form of an order enforcing, that ratified an agreement, something like that. But if there's a court order in place, then you have to do what the court order says, unless you have a really good reason. And at that point, if there's a motion to compel or a motion for contempt, you have to go before the judge and give your really good reason. If there's no court order in place, now you're into the world of, am I going to look bad? Is the judge going to go, even though there was no court order in place, you should still be trying to foster a close and continuing relationship between the children and the other parent. And did you do that or didn't you do that? And then if you withhold time sharing, are you going to be accused of alienating and things like that? And so what I say at that point is, are you going to have a good reason when the other side tries to say that that's what you did, that you withheld time sharing? And certainly travel restrictions because of a pandemic are good reasons. So I don't think that you need to do anything. Especially now, you can certainly offer something else so that it doesn't look like you're just saying no completely. You can offer, FaceTiming, Zoom calls, something like that. If the father wants to travel to Germany and quarantine for 14 days prior and then have time with the children over there, that's certainly an option as well. It's all something that you should potentially try to negotiate prior to, since, somebody can file a motion if they want to and try to get hearing time prior to Christmas. But right now with the way the court systems are pretty backed up, if something got filed today, trying to get a hearing within the next 6 weeks may be a challenge depending on where you are. So that's my long answer to your very good question. Let's see. I have, oh my goodness, so many awesome questions here. Somebody asked a question think it was Adene, I don't know if I'm saying that name right, from Texas, about how do lawyers charge. So let me answer that question. And I have actually a whole chapter on that in my book, Breaking Free, a Step-by-Step Divorce Guide, by the way. But a short answer is that lawyers can charge either a flat rate, which they don't normally do for ongoing cases. Flat rates are more for, I'm going to draft your will or something like that. Something where they kind of have an idea of what the hours are going to be. If it's an ongoing type of a case, then they're going to bill hourly, and they can take a retainer and bill against the retainer. The retainer can be refundable. So whatever they don't use, you get back. Or the retainer can be non-refundable, which means that, even if they are billing against it, if you don't use up all those hours, you don't get that money back. Or it can be partially refundable and partially not refundable. And then they usually bill in 6-minute increments at whatever their hourly rate is. Some lawyers bill in quarter-hour increments, which means that, even if you have a 5-minute phone call, you're going to be billed for 15 minutes. But most lawyers bill in 6-minute increments, meaning that if you have a 10-minute phone call, you're going to be billed 0.2. And then a lot of lawyers also have associate attorneys. I know at my firm, we have associate attorneys, we have paralegals. And so that you end up with some version of a blended rate, because the paralegals will charge the least amount in the firm, and then associate attorneys, less than the partners. So, and usually the partners are the most, and the partners usually, this is what I tell people. The way I work is, I'm more of the face of the case, the quarterback, the person who runs the case, comes up with the strategy. But then the day-to-day stuff, like looking through bank statements and figuring out if you have all of the financial documents that you're supposed to be receiving, and realizing that July is missing, or that there's pages missing from the credit card statement and things like that. That is not something that the partner should be doing. You definitely don't want to be charged the highest hourly rate for work like that. That's something more that a paralegal could do. And paralegals can also do a lot of the rote kind of documents that have to be filed with every single case, and things like that. So you end up with somewhat of a blended rate, usually, depending on how that particular lawyer works. So that was a very good question, and not one that I normally get. So I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to respond to that question. So let's see. Telly is asking, can I file for divorce for emotional abandonment if my husband hasn't talked to me in 6 months? More than likely, you are in a no-fault state. And I just want to reiterate again that no fault does not mean that fault never matters. No fault just means you don't need to prove fault in order to get a divorce. And so emotional abandonment is probably not grounds for divorce, and you probably don't need grounds anyway. If you're in a no-fault state, you just need to prove, you just need to say that the marriage is irretrievably broken, or irreconcilable differences, or whatever the terminology is in your particular state or jurisdiction. So you don't need to prove that. That's not something that you would even want to say. That you're not going to get very far with that kind of argument. And that's why I created the SLAY program. And I do all these videos because I want you to have the tools and the resources that you need in order to be able to negotiate in a way that's powerful, and use arguments that'll actually get you somewhere, so that you get forward motion toward the goal that you want, toward the resolution that you want. Okay, so let's see. What else I can answer? Brenda, if I leave the house before filing, will I lose any interest in the house? And the answer is no. You do not lose any interest. Whatever your ownership interest is in the house, you keep that. Why people say that you should not potentially leave the house prior to filing is because if you want to get back into the house, like you want exclusive occupancy down the road, or you want to get the house in the divorce, it just gets harder to go back in if you're already out, because judges just kind of usually try to take the easy way out. So if there's ever a conversation about who should have exclusive occupancy of the house and you already have another place to stay or another place to go, then the judge is probably just going to say, you just stay where you are and it's fine. But you don't lose any ownership interest in the house, whatever that is. I mean, you don't get more, you don't get less. So whatever that is for your particular state, however they measure that, that will remain the same regardless of whether you're in the house or not. Okay, so that was a good question from, I can't even remember who it was now. Telly, I think it was, right? And Craig is just saying hi, and I love all your vids on narcs, all the way from Australia. Thanks, Rebecca. Thank you so much, Craig, in Australia. I love Australia too. I have a lot of people who follow me in Australia. And by the way, just going back to that house question, I wanted to mention, I do have courses. If you go to breakingfreefromdivorce.com, or you just even go to my website, RebeccaZung.com, and look at my courses. I have courses on planning and preparing for divorce. So if you're just thinking about divorce, it's a smaller course. And then I have courses for every single stage and phase of divorce, which are extremely helpful, will save you so much money in the long run when you're dealing with attorneys and trying to figure out which direction to go and what's going to be happening next. They're super helpful. My Slay program is really for negotiating with that narcissist, and that's like the killer program on getting where you want to go as far as negotiating. So let's see. I'm trying to see that, like, it's scrolling really fast, so I'm trying to just grab some more questions here. What helped you the most for healing after the narc? Love the vids. And hello from Belgium. Greetings from Belgium. Then that is Rector. What helped me the most personally is going no contact, number one. And then really trying to pivot my brain and my mind and the cycle of thinking about it and ruminating on it. Believe me, I can like get into the rumination game and like the obsessed game, like with the best of them, and have my mind be like, so, waking up in the middle of the night thinking about it, brushing my teeth thinking about it, going to get my coffee thinking about it, and like on and on and on. And so what I really learned how to do, and I do talk about this in the Slay program, but I also talk about this in my video called Self-Care to Cope with Narcissists on YouTube. So you can just check that out, is just learning how to pivot my brain by, if I'm thinking about that, do I have something else more positive to think about? Because I really realized that if I'm in this obsessed mode and down in this negative spiral, then I am not in creation mode. I am not doing something positive. I'm not using my life to help others. And so I had this realization like a little over a year ago. And from that, I turned and I wrote my book, Negotiate Like You Matter. Robert Shapiro ended up offering to write the foreword for it. I created this YouTube channel. I created my Slay program and everything else. And all of that was as a result of, I'm not going to think about the narcissists in my life anymore. I'm going to think about how I can be used by the universe, by God, to help people with the information and knowledge that I have. And that's what I am committed to doing every single day is that. And it really, really helped me. And the other thing that really helped me was like not having downtime in my brain. So if I was, walking the dog or doing something where my brain would have time to, go crazy, in the car, or, anything like that, I would listen to things that would help me. Listen to Joe Dispenza, listen to, whether it's YouTube videos or books on audio, or whatever I needed to keep my brain high, to vibrate higher, to keep my energy to a level that was higher and not be down into the the lower energy level that narcissists want to keep you at. So that's what I did to get better and to heal, and that's what I strongly suggest that you do too. There's some wellness resources that are actually on my website as well, that are not even my resources, but they're resources that I've carefully curated and selected for you. So go to RebeccaZung.com and just click on read, and then go to wellness resources and check them out. There's all kinds of great stuff there for you to help heal from narcissists as well. Okay, so and Annette say, I've never been so weak. It's weird. I'm usually so strong-minded. That is exactly what narcissists want you to feel. That's exactly where they put you. They make you feel that way. They make you feel weak. Little baby steps, little things like being here on this channel and doing the work and starting to realize it's them and it's not you. It is totally them. They are broken people who want you to feel broken. And it's, you have the power to turn around and say, it's not me, and I'm not putting up with this anymore. And that's what we do here. So join us in our free private Facebook group, by the way. It's Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. And there's so much amazing love and support going on in that group. And I'd love to see you in there. And if you are negotiating with a narcissist, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. I mean, I have stories of people who've won their entire negotiations just on that. So make sure you grab that. It's a free ebook. The problem with being live, of course, is that I can't edit out when I have a frog in my throat. So anyway, thanks so much for stopping by this channel. I am so grateful for all of you, and grateful for the opportunity to help you with real step-by-step guidance when you are dealing with narcissists. So if you like this video, give it a like. Make sure that you share it. Make sure that you have subscribed to my channel, and you've hit that notification bell. Just subscribe, and that way you'll get notified when I go live and I do all these cool things, these amazing interviews that I have coming up for you, and all the content and resources that I offer you for free. So thanks so much for stopping by. I send you light, I send you love, I send you support, courage, everything. Every ounce of my soul wants you to break free from the toxic personalities and the narcissists in your life. So thanks so much for being here today, and I will see you in the next video. All right, how do I spell this?